See, the devil can wrestle a believer. He's going to wrestle you for sure. But he can never pin you. Good morning, y'all. Welcome to Coffee with Connect. We get together on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9:30, and we get into God's Word together with our coffee. And my mug today is from Dublin, Ireland, from the Starbucks over there that I got when I led a missions trip over there some years back. So I hope that you've got your mug and that you're ready to go. You've got your Word of the Lord, whether that's in digital format or you've got your physical Bible with you. And we're going to be continuing through the book of James, James chapter 4, verses 7 through 10. We're going to pray, read, think, write, do. We're going to pick right up where we left off on the last episode, jumping in to verse 7 here. And so I hope that you've prayed and asked the Lord to show you something as we get into his word today. And so let's read together. Beginning verse 7 through 10, I'm in the NIV. Submit yourselves then to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Come near to God, and he will come near to you. Wash your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. Grieve, mourn, and wail. Change your laughter to mourning and your joy to gloom. Humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will lift you up. So, thinking this through for a minute, in light of the grace that God gives us, we need to submit ourselves. We need to submit ourselves to him. That's why he starts right off with that. When we think about the verses prior to this and talking about some of the things that the church is being called out on, this is where James is kind of landing. In light of the grace that God gives us, we need to submit ourselves to God. He created us, right? He wants what's best for us. And resistance, this kind of sounds funny, but resistance is futile, right? Resistance is ultimately pointless because we know that one day every knee will bow, every tongue will confess, like it or not. So you're delaying the inevitable in many ways. And submitting to him is necessary. Submitting to him is necessary for salvation, and there is no other way to ultimately find peace than to submit to God. And then the promise that's here that if you resist the devil, that he will flee, because you're like, boy, submitting to God is, in all things, it's tough because the enemy's always trying to pull us away. Yeah, he absolutely is. But that promise here, resist the devil and he will flee from you. That doesn't mean he'll never come back. I think we all know that. He'll come back. He'll try again and again and again. But we need to continue to resist. We need to continue to resist him and submit to the Lord. See, the devil can wrestle a believer. He's going to wrestle you for sure. But he can never pin you. Remember that. The devil can wrestle you as a believer, but he can never pin you. So what's God saying to you? What do you need to write down for yourself? And then ultimately, what do? As we're pray, read, think, we write down some of the things that we ultimately need to implement into our life. I think a lot of times for me, I'm writing down what I need to do. I don't know if that's maybe how you go through this, but that's a lot of what I end up writing. Half of this last half is really talking about the do. Wash your hands, you sinners. Purify your hearts, you double-minded. Grieve, mourn, wail. Talking about humbling ourselves. Back to that submitting to God. All of these things really relay back to that very first statement. Submit yourselves then to God. Draw near to him, and he will draw near to you. I love that promise as well. As sinners, we need to be drawing close to the Lord, but from a posture of a sinner, meaning we need to understand who we are and who we're not. And that is a lot of what he's getting at here. We can't approach God as a self-righteous jerk. We need to humbly understand where we stand and draw near to God And when we draw near to him in that way, from a place of humility, from a place of, that posture of understanding who we are, it says he's going to lift us up, right? Humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will lift you up. And as we know, God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. So thanks for joining me. And I hope that you'll like the video, subscribe to the channel, share this with someone that needs it. Join me again here next time so we can have our coffee and connect to Christ, community, purpose, and God's word together.